Good morning everyone and welcome to my channel. I've been thinking about putting together this video for a couple of weeks now, and I think partly because I think it's always nice to kind of have a look at where you're at with your projects and everything, and you know what sort of goals you might have for the rest of the year. So as it's coming towards the end of the year, I really wanted to kind of just go over my heaven and earth designs, what I have, when I started, you know, how much progress I've made on them, because as I do them in such random order and in such different rotations, it's hard to know, you know, what's going on with one and what's going on with the other. So I'm just going to show you what I have, and this is kind of like an end of year review, because I think by the time I get to the actual end of the year, it's going to get so busy I'm not going to have time to actually sit down and go through the whole thing like this. So with Christmas coming up and everything, it'll be difficult. So at the moment what I have is 5 actual heaven and earth designs. These are the current projects that I am working on. They are active and I've been working on them at least every single week. I've been working on all of them. And so the first one I want to show you, so I'm going to go from oldest to the most recent that I've started. So my first one is my biggest, and this one is the, for many of you that already follow my channel will be familiar with this one. This one is called Riverwalk Charm, and it's a pattern by Heaven and Earth. And I am doing the large on this design. There is a max color for those who are brave enough to do that. This one I started in December 2019, so it's almost 2 years old now, and I've got to 14% on this one. It doesn't sound a lot, does it? But actually, I'm not kidding you, this one is a huge undertaking. It's kind of like the Once Upon a Fairy Tale supersized. It, to me, it just feels huge. And it's taken me this long to get to this point. I've been slowly plugging away at it, and I'm working on 2/1 even weave on this one. This is the gridded fabric, and it's a tent stitch for this one. So I really love this pattern. It's going to look absolutely beautiful. Look how vibrant these colors are. So this one is, my goal I have set for this one is to reach the 15% by the end of the year. Now that's only going to be 1% more, so that should be doable. I don't think I will have a problem doing an extra 1% by the end of the year. But then again, you know, it all depends on, I mean, we're almost there, guys. We're almost at the end of the year now. So, you know, it's not going to be much longer. So let's just see how we're getting on with our work, and you know, how much time we can put into them is also a good thing. So that is the very big piece, and as you can see, fabric just goes on and on and on. Needs a good wash. It's all crinkled. It's been in Q-snaps and out of Q-snaps for weeks and months, so you know, nobody does that until they've finished their WIP anyway. So that is the lovely Riverwalk Charm. And I'm working sort of blocks and kind of coming down this way. Coming down this way so I can catch up with this part. Started a diagonal here, which I wasn't too thrilled about. So I'm going to carry on, and I'm just going to work this section down to the bottom. Then I will go right back to the top again and do the next quarter or third or whatever it is on the other side. Okay, so that is Riverwalk Charm, and it's going really well, really well. And I love working on it. It's one of my favorite pieces. I say that about every piece usually, but of course every piece that we have is going to be a favorite, because we wouldn't choose them if we didn't love them, would we? So next in order that I started, and this one I started in November 2020, and it is the Sad Fairy by Alina Lazareva. This is the regular chart, and it might actually be easier just to hold it up for you. This is as far as I've got with this beautiful chart. That is a lot of work done, guys, a lot of work done there. So this one was started in November 2020, so it's about 1 year old. And again, I'm tent stitching 2/1, and this is not even weave. This is a DMC fabric, and it had a grid which I washed off because I wasn't enjoying it with the grid. So there we go. And I'm working again in blocks going downwards. And I've set my goal, I've reached 34% this one, sorry, and I've set my goal for, let's see, at 34%, or could I reach 50% by the end of the year? Could I get further down, maybe on her body, or try to do some more of these trees, get down to the bottom, maybe kind of square it off there? I don't know, we'll see about that. All depends on how busy I'm going to get in the next few weeks. So yeah, Sad Fairy, and that one is my second oldest WIP, and she comes out about once a week, I'd say. Sometimes I work on her longer, sometimes shorter periods. All depends on how much time, you know, you get for actual stitching, because it's different from week to week, isn't it? The next one I have in order, which I started in June 2021, so this one is much more recent. This is Tree of Life by Jen DeLeith, and it's about 5 months old. And that's as far as I've got on the Tree of Life. So you can see, again, quite a large piece of fabric here. And this one is, it's at 14% right now. And I've made a goal to hopefully finish about 20% of this one. I'm just going to try and hold it a bit easy for me. So I'm going to try and aim for 20%. I absolutely adore the colours in this chart. This chart is amazing. There's no other word for it. I mean, just look at those colours. And this is going to be 13 inches by 13 inches, so I think it is the regular, although I think there is a mini of it out now, but I would still do the regular if I was to do it again, because it is so beautiful. And I'm slowly working my way through this one. And what did I not tell you? Oh yes, it's again 2/1 tent, and it's a beautiful, the pre-gridded even weave. So let's see if I can get from 14 to 20% by the end of this year, guys. What do you think? This one is just, I can't stop looking at it sometimes when I bring it out, because I can't believe just how beautiful it is. The blues and the greens, it's just fantastic. I can't wait to get the whole beautiful middle section done. It's going to be amazing. This one's definitely one for being framed. So that's Tree of Life. This is going to go through really quickly now, because I don't do hundreds of HAEDs. I've got other WIPs, which I'll come back and show you again at some point. But let's just go through our parade of HAEDs today. My next grand production is The Grandparents and Fireflies by Vincent Fleming. And this one is on a regular chart. I started it in July 2021, and so it's only about 4 or 5 months old. And where have I got to in this chart? I've lots of threads hanging down, so I'm just going to try and pull these down a bit so we can see where we're at. Okay, so here we have Grandparents and Fireflies. And I've never actually done a sort of WIP parade, so this is my first kind of mini WIP parade. Just look at those colours, aren't they amazing? I absolutely am in love with this. It kind of looks like a NASA satellite image. And this one was started in July, and I'm only at 8% after doing all this section. 8%, guys. And look at the size of this. It just goes on and on. Fabric goes on forever. But I'm really enjoying working on this one. And what I'm doing is diagonal blocks, because I tried doing a line and it didn't agree with me. I was getting really frustrated, so I went back to doing these blocks here and working my way down. And I think I'm going to go across to the whole length of this chart, and then once I've got to the other end, I'm going to start back here at the bottom and go all the way again to the end. And I don't seem to have problems with tension lines, so I'm not worried about doing this whole section all the way across. This is the 22 count hardanger, by the way, which I find really smooth and easy to stitch with, and it's 1/1 full cross with one strand. And working with one strand is so fine and dainty. It's really a lot easier to work with one strand, I think, than two. Far less bulk, but I don't mind the look of either. I think they both look good in their own ways. They've got their own merits. So I am parking on all of these patterns because I love parking. Parking is me. That's what I love to do. And last but not least, and this is probably going to be the shortest project video you'll ever see. Last but not least, I have my, oh, got to turn my page, Dreaming of Being Human by Dakota Dateweiler, and this is, I started this one just last month, and it is 20 count 1/1 full cross, and I am at 3.3%, so I've only got a tiny little bit of this one to parade, not very much at all. So there we have it. So I started, instead of starting in the top left, which I normally do, I started this one in the top right, just for the, just for the hell of it, because I wanted to do something a little different. And I'm doing the diagonal blocks again. Starting on the top right is nice because I've got all the lovely light colours. When I get further to the left, they're going to start getting darker, which is also good. And at 3.3%, my goal for this one is probably to reach about 5% by the end of the year. Again, I don't know if that will happen because I tend to just pick up the ones that I want to do when I want to do them, and I never know if I want to, meet the actual goal or just continue with the ones I'm enjoying. So also this one is 20 count, and it's 1/1 full cross, and I really like one strand on 20 count. I think it's got good coverage. It's cool for me. I like it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this chart get done. This is a mini, by the way, so you can see the fabric is very easy to manage. And I tend to put them all on Q snaps, and I have them all on Q snaps all the time, so that I can just pick one out of my box and I don't have to worry about setting everything up. I've got all my 5 HAEDs in their own Q snaps ready to go. The next one I want to show you a picture of is the new start that I'm hoping to do in on the 1st of January, I think it is, and it is called Dress of Daydreams by Josephine Wall. It's a beautiful chart. So that's my new start in 2022. I can't believe we're already getting to 2022. It's just crazy. And the one I've chosen, the size I've chosen of this one is actually called Request a Size, because I didn't want to do the large. I thought the mini might lose a lot of detail. So the Request a Size that was actually already posted and ready for sale. Somebody else must have requested a certain size, and then they put it up, as a chart already for sale for everybody else. Was kind of in between the mini and the large, which kind of suits me fine. I have fabric on order for that, which I will be doing on 20 count Belana even weave. And I have not gone through my flosses yet, but that's something I'm going to have to do in a couple of weeks because I want to get the flosses ready. The other I was working on was called the Melody of the Night, and that was an Artesi design. And well, this one was giving me a lot of headaches. I started this one on 2/1 tent on 25 count, and then I realized that the bulk was actually killing me. I don't know what it was about this fabric, maybe because it wasn't gridded, and the nature of the chart is such that it's highly confetti, but I just wasn't enjoying it. So then I tried going down to one strand and doing the tent stitch twice so that I would still get the 2 strands in tent. But again, I was kind of reluctant to pull it out. So I don't know, you know, it's just one of those things. Sometimes you lose the buzz for one and you get more, you know, determined or interested in another. So Poor Little Melody of the Night went back into the box, and I've just put down in my notes that I'm going to either restart that one next year on a different count, maybe on a 20 count, which I might like better for that particular chart, or a 22 count. So that one is on hold. It's not dead, it's on hold, which is okay by me, because like I've got plenty to get on with, you know. I don't need to worry about being bored at any point. So that's my little update. I know to some of you it's very small, but it's my little stash, and I'm really happy with it, and it keeps me plodding along happily with my various projects. So that's it from me. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.